That won't be an issue, right? It's starting to become more stressful than fun. Can't wait for you guys to see it. Hi, my name is Eric, and today I'm going a different route. This is the system that I'm going to use to attach the neck to the body. I will drill and put these into the neck, and then these bolts will sit in these grommets, and I'm going to go with a black and silver. I do have other colors. I could go black and black. I could go silver on the outside, black in the center. Yeah, definitely going with these. That's the system I'll be using. Now it's time to drill the holes. The way I'm figuring depth here, I want to come up just shy of the fretboard. Shouldn't be a problem to drill these all at once. That won't be an issue, right? I want to go to a depth of around there. Mark outside that. I went out a little deeper, it's fine. As it spins, I should be able to see that pretty clearly. So now I'm just going to grab a pencil and do where I think the bolts should go. It's a pretty tight pattern. I wonder if I want to do something funky, just for funsies, like maybe here and here. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that's a terrible idea. Let me grab a straight edge, just so I have a frame of reference. I mean, this isn't 90 anymore because I've done so much sanding, but this will give me an idea of how it's going to line up. Coming over here and looking at it with regards to the neck. These two are probably good. So there, and there, and then, yeah, it's going to need to come back a little bit to be able to fit. So there. Oh, and that just happens to line it up with that mark. I wonder how many people this would drive absolutely insane not having a perfect square. Although, pretty close. It's not terrible. I think it'll look good. Let's get to drilling. Alright, for better or worse, which might be worse, that is my bolt. Ooh. Oh no. That's awfully close to that outside edge. I knew it was going to be shifted over, and I don't really have an issue with that, but that's close. It is still enough room for one of these to bite in. Maybe I should have slowed down and used a template or something, I don't know. Now I need to drill the next part. Okay, so depth. I only need to go about that deep. I don't feel like I can really mark that. I mean, I've got a feed stop on here. Can I set this to 0? No, I can't zero this out that way. So if I move that much and tighten that, I know I just spent all that time getting that in place, but nope, that didn't. Oh, I see. Wait, it stops the return? Why would stopping the return be useful? I mean, I guess that would be useful in certain circumstances, but maybe I'm just getting tired and I need to call it for a day, even though I have not achieved all the goals that I had hoped to achieve today. So that is the idea. Oh yeah. So it needs to be ever so slightly below the surface. Bloop. I think that's going to look really good. Plus it'll compress a little as I tighten it down. Okay, so they need to all look like that. Easy peasy. Absolutely no chance of anything going wrong. There is no way this doesn't have a depth stop, but it really doesn't seem to. There. Okay, so that is the depth that I want this locked to. So no more deep than that. Where are we at on this one? Basically the same. That one's gonna have to go a little bit deeper because of the curve, or else that lip isn't gonna clear. I think that'll clear. Putting in the inserts. Now, as I recall, this is a royal pain into hard maple, because it's definitely not a softwood like pine. Yeah, I might want to actually at least get these started with a slightly bigger bit. Alright, so that should make these a little bit easier to get started. Got... Wow! Okay. Alright. Wow. Gonna need to drill bigger holes. Let's drill these out all the way. You know what? Let's just do one and see what we get. Okay, so that is just... seems pretty loose overall. Okay. So now we're just gonna wind it in. Easy peasy. It broke again. Not had this issue. Take a moment, think about it. I've got some maple kicking around. I am surprised to see it's giving me this much trouble. Okay, I'm gonna stop here, take a break, do some experiments, figure this out, find a method that works, and come back. Alright, I have a working solution to my issue. I picked up some steel inserts and tested out on this piece of maple. I also got some brass ones because I wanted to try a couple different solutions. I actually tried the brass first, but that's not going to work for me because of how close I've got it to this wall here. Drilling out to that diameter, I'd just have to make a new neck. Well, I'd have to do more than that because I'd also have to fill in on the body and re-drill out those holes. And I don't want to do that. I will do it if it's the right choice. But I think with the steel inserts, the diameter of these holes is basically right where they are. This sets up against the stronger part of the body. I think it'll be okay. I will stress it. Like once I have it assembled, I'm going to put some stresses on it and I'm going to see if it cracks or gives me any other issues. But this maple is hard, and I think with where it's at and the way force is going to be applied to it, I really think it's going to be okay. Point will be to use this to drill out that little bit of crappy bronze that's still in there. Make sure these are all drilled out. Then I will tap the threads for this, which is a M8-1.25. So I'll get those threads tapped out, then I'll be able to run these in, and we'll be back on track. Perfect. I'm gonna clean up this metal before I go any further. Let's tap this bad boy. Go. I did do a stress test. I put one of these in a piece of wood and then ran a bolt into it, clamped the bolt into the vise, and then grabbed the piece of wood and yanked and twisted and pulled and tried to rip it out. And I couldn't do it with my bare hands, at least, with the leverage of having it in the vise. It did not go anywhere. So I'm pretty convinced that these are going to be quite strong. And I might need to touch that up with a little bit of sandpaper. 4 steel bolts is going to hold that neck in place. So today I'm going to be routing out the neck positioned with this pickup template that I made. I decided that I didn't want to go with the traditional neck pickup. I wanted to do something a little different, a little more interesting. I've made my master template and used that to make the working template. I'll put that somewhere safe and I'll use this whenever I need to route for this pickup. And originally I had not planned to use this on this build, but I've decided to go ahead and do it with this one just to do more, you know, just to switch it up. As much as I like the pickups, the classic pickups I was gonna put in this, I really think that, just something a little different, a little bit interesting, but still practical, still playable, still nice sounding. That's the route I am going to go. The first step then will be to attach the template to the body. A couple tips for this: don't use too much super glue. You only need just a thin line and it will hold shockingly well. You'll be surprised at just how well it stays put. Another thing to keep in mind is that the stuff sets, I think they say you've got 2 to 4 seconds to get it lined up. So yeah, got it. I'd make it a point not to spray this at the working piece, but instead spray it at the template. If this gets damaged, I'll just make another one, but I don't want that, especially since I've already got some shellac down, which I'm actually going to do things a little differently on that front as well, but we'll get to that after I get this done. Let's do it. Yeah, I think I nailed it. Yep, there we go. All right, that is ready to take over to the router. Okay, so the route is pretty much done. I did have one issue in that the bit that I have isn't long enough to get that last little, maybe half a mil, little lip there. It's not gonna hurt anything, it's kind of annoying. Maybe I'll sand it out with a Dremel or something, I don't know. And I already had it in so deep that it was actually, this part was actually digging into the MDF on the top of the template. For the pickup I'm planning on using, that is more than enough depth. Okay, so that went pretty well. Let's take that off. Easy peasy, as long as you don't put too much super glue on there. Seriously, it's a really cool trick. Touch up those edges. Just got some 220 here. There we go, much nicer. And now I need to make sure the pickup fits. I think that's gonna look pretty slick. Can't wait for you guys to see it. Even with the wood just being raw, that is really, really tight. And once I put paint on there, or yeah, cause this bad boy is gonna get paint. The inside of this pocket, maybe not so much. I need to open this up. There we go. It's still mostly tight. Shout out to Highline Guitars for this idea. Using these big erasers as sanding blocks. Pretty darn useful. Especially when you're trying to be a little not so much brute force. There we go. Nice. Okay. So that's probably still going to be really tight once I get the paint on. Don't like the way this is. So I got some 120 here. And it's going to kind of take the edge off of this. Get that nice roundish edge. 220. This is some 320. So that's done. Thanks for watching. Please hit like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.